This can't be real. The bank manager's laughter echoed through the marble lobby like a slap to the face. Behind the polished counter, he leaned back with a smug grin, gesturing slightly toward the teller beside him. A few customers turned to look. Some chuckled, while others just stared. Yet the woman standing across from him in her tailored blazer, with crisp heels firmly planted and her eyes focused, didn't flinch. She held a folded check in both hands, her manicured nails showcasing every inch of restraint in her posture. The laughter bounced off the walls, but she remained unyielding. She was not merely standing still, she was standing her ground. "Ma'am," the manager began, letting the word drip with condescension, "you honestly expect me to believe this?" His voice rose. "She says she wants to deposit 20 million. The silence that followed was palpable. You could hear a pin drop, a distant cough in the far corner. Everyone paused long enough for judgment to settle in like dust on polished furniture. She didn't answer his question. She didn't need to. "I'm asking you," she said slowly, her voice calm and precise, "to please process the check." The bank manager, whose name tag read Philip, leaned over the counter, his smile twisting into a sneer. "Where exactly did you get this?" "I earned it," she replied, unwavering. "You earned it?" he echoed mockingly, dragging the words out like gum stuck to the bottom of his shoe. "You're saying you earned this?" A security guard shifted his stance by the door, and Philip waved him off with a glance before turning back. "You're making a mistake," she said quietly. "I doubt that," he smirked. "We see scams like this all the time, people walking in off the street with fake checks, thinking we're too oblivious to notice." She understood what he meant. It wasn't about fraud, it was about her. Her skin, her confidence, her calm demeanor were a disruption in his well-ordered world of assumptions. Still, she remained unshaken, not even fidgeting. A younger teller peeked over from her cubicle, clearly uncomfortable. The check now lay on the counter, its crisp edges curled slightly from having been held too long. "What's your name?" Philip asked, but it wasn't truly a question. "You didn't ask the others," she replied coolly, "because no one else walked in here claiming they were owed a fortune." "I never said I was owed anything," she responded. "I said I earned it." The tension choked the air in the room. Customers glanced at their phones, feigning interest in anything but the confrontation unfolding before them. A little boy tugged on his mother's sleeve, asking, "Why is that man yelling at her?" The mother turned away. Philip snatched the check from the counter and waved it dismissively. "We'll have to verify this. Might take a while. Maybe days." "That's fine," she replied. "We're not some corner check-cashing spot," he continued. "This is a serious financial institution. You don't just walk in with something like this. And you don't laugh in someone's face either," she shot back, her voice low. Philip stared at her, trying to categorize her in a way he couldn't quite grasp. "You really think this is about race?" "I don't think," she replied. "I live it." That hit hard. The young teller behind him shifted awkwardly. Someone in the lobby cleared their throat. The guard took another step forward. "Maybe you should take this to another branch," Philip suggested smugly, eager to dismiss her. She tilted her head. "So, you don't have to apologize when you find out who I am." He scoffed. "And who are you?" She didn't answer. Instead, she calmly reached for her phone and snapped a photo of him mid-sneeze, the check still in his hand. His expression tightened. "You can't do that." "I don't need permission to protect myself," she said. And just like that, the bank fell dead silent. No one moved. No one dared to breathe too loudly. The woman didn't raise her voice once, but suddenly she was the loudest force in the room. Philip glanced at the check again, and this time he actually read it. The name typed at the bottom made something flicker in his eyes. Confusion, then doubt, then recognition. "Ms.," he began. "Don't finish that sentence," she said coolly. "You've already said enough when you laughed." Because she wasn't merely holding a piece of paper. She was holding every sacrifice that had ever been dismissed. Her name was Layla Jenkins. To Philip, she had been just another nobody, Just another woman with brown skin and confidence he mistook for arrogance. He hadn't seen the grit behind her steady gaze. He hadn't seen her mother cleaning offices late into the night, fingers raw, whispering into Layla's ear, "You're not less. You're just not seen yet." He didn't see her father, who drove a city bus in double shifts, then stayed up late to help with her math homework. He didn't see her walking to school through neighborhoods with eviction notices fluttering on doorsteps, doing homework by flashlight when the power went out. But she remembered it all. She remembered every time she was told to be grateful for opportunities others were handed, every time she was instructed to speak softer, smile more, take up less space. She recalled her business school graduation, where her father sat in the back in a suit 2 years old, clapping until his hands hurt. "Go build something they can't tear down," he told her. And she did. 15 years of grit, 15 years of building a tech company from the floor of a studio apartment with no heat, borrowed Wi-Fi, and a laptop missing 3 keys. She had built it to solve real problems and hired those others overlooked. She'd turned down shortcuts, never begged for approval, and when the acquisition came, $20 million signed and sealed, she didn't even cry. She just remembered every time someone had said, "Be realistic." Now she stood in a bank, being laughed at by a man who saw a lie because she didn't fit his image of success. "Ma'am," he said again, the laughter gone from his tone, replaced by strained civility. "I'm going to need you to step aside while we verify." "What exactly are you verifying?" she asked. Philip adjusted his tie. 20 million is highly unusual, especially without prior notice. So now money needs an appointment. He stiffened, looking at the check again. The signature of one of the largest venture firms in Silicon Valley stared back at him, but he didn't see that. He only saw a black woman in a sharp suit, standing too tall, speaking too plainly. "We'll have to hold this," he said, his voice louder now. "Standard fraud investigation." "You think I stole it?" she asked. He didn't answer. He didn't need to. "I'm calling corporate," she said, pulling out her phone. "Call whoever you want," he said, leaning in. "This is my branch." The security guard stepped up. "Is there a problem, ma'am?" "Yes," she said, meeting his gaze. "The problem is that I walked in with a legal check and got treated like a criminal." Philip threw up his hands. "She's becoming hostile." Hostile? That word cracked like a whip. The guard's hand hovered near his belt. "You think I'm dangerous?" she asked. "Because I won't let you lie." The energy in the room shifted again. People near the windows moved. One customer quietly slid her phone onto video mode. "Escort her out," Philip snapped, "while we verify." "She hasn't done anything." The guard hesitated. "Want me to call the police instead?" Philip threatened. There it was, the fallback, the weapon, the phone call that always loomed. Layla didn't move. She didn't blink. "I don't need your belief," she said softly. "I earned this silence." The guard didn't touch her. "You humiliated me because my skin didn't match your idea of success," she said, never raising her voice. "You called security before you called the number on the check." Her phone buzzed. She answered, "Yes, this is Layla Jenkins." The voice on the other end was crisp and professional. "Hi, this is Natalie from Cranston Ventures Executive Office. I'm calling to confirm the check you deposited today. It's valid. Would you like us to provide confirmation directly to the branch manager?" Layla pressed the speaker button. "You're on." Natalie didn't skip a beat. "Yes, this check is from our acquisition payout. Ms. Jenkins is now Chief Financial Officer at Fockage Systems. That check is her signing bonus. Please treat this matter with urgency and the respect appropriate for a partner of her level." The room froze. Philip's face went pale. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Layla hung up. "CFO," she said quietly. "Not a typo, not a fraud, not a favor," she added. "That's what they think I'm worth. But you didn't even think I was worth a phone call." She reached into her briefcase and placed a card on the counter. "My legal team, in case your branch needs to prepare a formal apology." Philip didn't touch it. "You thought this was your bank," she said, eyes narrowing. "Turns out it's just another room where bias echoes louder than facts." She turned and walked out. Sunlight greeted her on the other side of the glass doors like applause. The security guard gave her a respectful nod, while Philip remained standing there, small, embarrassed, exposed. No one said a word in his defense, because the truth didn't need volume, it had already spoken.